Streamed live on Twitch at Lord Brandon 10.
All right, YouTube, we're back with another video. We are going to be reacting to This Needs to Change from Aztecross, one of the GOATs here in the Destiny 2 community. Let's see what he's got to say about the Edge of Fate. I'll give my thoughts where I feel like I need to give them. And let's react. Here we go.
I started watching it last night, but we'll watch it right here. Scaro put out this video. 5 big worries I have about the Edge of Fate.
We are like 6 weeks away from Edge of Fate, and there's a ton of changes coming with the expansion itself. So while the expansion might not...
And I say this is crazy. I'm reacting to a video from Scaro. Just wanted to point that out.
Not be the biggest thing ever. There's like a lot of things that are going to be changing, and I like some of it, and some of it has me worried. And so I want to talk about all of that. So I'm going to release a 2-piece video series going over the things I'm worried about and the things I'm excited for. Today, we're going to start with the things I'm worried about because analytics, baby. But there are 5 things that I'm worried about. I'm not sold.
Good, Scaro. Good. Yes, yes. Feed into it.
That these are like definite negatives or that they won't be addressed by Bungie. But these are things that right now, as it sits with as much information that we know, I'm left worried about it. And so that's really what I want to talk about. So the first thing, for instance, is the soft sunsetting of the director. So if you don't know...
Now, this is something I wanted to point out. I don't know if he'll answer it in this video, but he said, or from the stuff I've been seeing, they've been saying that Kepler won't be on the actual little director here. And so everything is essentially going to be done through their portal. But out of all the videos I have watched, how in the world, my question is how in the world do you get to Kepler if it's not on the director? Like, how do you get down there? Is there a spot on the portal that you can click on Kepler and it takes you down to a patrol zone? Or is there not going to be like any patrolling?
The brand new portal screen. Bungie's intention is for all new activities, all new locations, everything to be accessed through the portal screen. Things like the new destination Kepler, you know, you would probably think will be on the director. Not the case. Bungie's intention, I actually asked this in the middle of our like recording session, you know, how do I even access Kepler? I was having a ridiculously hard time
Now he's answering it. Here we go.
Finding it. And that's because it's not on the director. You have to go into a subset of subset screens within the portal to find it. And it was incredibly frustrating to find in the first place. And then...
That's not good. What's the reason for that? Like, is it just to get us to use the portal? Like, you know what I mean?
And I think that's a terrible idea. I hate to cut Cross off here, but that's a terrible idea. It is such a terrible, terrible idea that there is not an actual destination Kepler for the director, and that you're going to force players to go to a new location on the portal and go through all these menus to even go do a patrol. So I personally think that's a horrible idea. I want to see what these two gentlemen here have to say, because one of the questions that, as I just stated, like, how do you even get down there? I didn't even know how to get down there, and I'm a Destiny 2 player, so like, just seems stupid.
I mean, or is it to save on UI space, or that you don't have to design an area on the destination menu?
I just kept like bringing it up, and everyone, all the other creators that were there with me, like definitely agreed. The director just has so much soul. It is kind of like a fundamental part of Destiny's identity at this point, and it has been for over a decade now. And it's just a shame. Like, the director's not going away. It'll still be there, but it'll just always exist in its current form, which I think is a shame. They're not putting Kepler on it. Wherever we go in Renegades, they're not going to put on it. And I really hope they reconsider that.
They have to. The fact that whatever the place for Renegades is going to be, it's not going to be on there. It's so stupid. You're telling me we're getting 2 brand new destinations and neither one is going to be on the director, and then on top of that, you have to try to find it wherever it is in the portal? Is going to be dumb.
Brother, no, that's not good. My thought process was you would have the portal, but you would still have the director, and that would be updated expansion to expansion. It doesn't make, I mean, the only thing because you can't just Fortnite this thing. You know what I mean? You can't just be like, we're going to slap on a menu and now this is this episode's content. Go, you know what I'm coming from? And then it's also going to be kind of confusing. It's like, all right, so the director, you're not visibly seeing where you were going. It's just the same destinations, but not updated with the new stuff. Now, there is always like the director always does get redone every expansion. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you take a look at it. I mean, it's every expansion, it gets redone and you see destinations get moved around. Bungie moved this here, there, all over the place. The Pell Hard here, of course. I don't know. Do they think it's just too crowded? I mean, I'm gonna be honest, just get rid of Neptune. I fucking forget that even exists. Bungie, you clear out this whole box over here. Just here's what I would prefer. I would rather have older destinations either moved to a sub menu and the newer destinations shown visibly versus the other way around.
I agree with that. I think if what they should do, instead of having what Cross just said, I think reverse what he just said. So keep the director how it is now. Or you know what, for a matter of fact, what they should do is when you go to click on, keep the portal, I guess, if that's what they're so insistent on, keep the portal. But if you click on the director, let it have an option to load either the solar system planets or, you know, older planets, and then another option for newer planets for another solar system or whatever. So that way it still keeps its originality in a sense. I think that would be the better route if they did do that.
Because I think that is a huge mistake, personally. The second one, how they're limiting build crafting. So a lot of like, you know, Armor 3.0 is deepening the depth of, it's like simplifying the front end, but then it's really deepening armor grinding or build crafting in a way where it's like, okay, if you want to be this type of player, you might have to spend a little bit more time farming the armor or getting the tier 5s or whatever, but you can get it. And there's, you know, the things like the tuning stat mods that add additional levers to that chase and that sort of thing. But one thing I really don't like that they're doing is only giving us 6 archetypes at the start, and 2 of them, like, for instance, I think the health stat is a complete dead stat. So really, there's only 4-ish archetypes that I might even be interested in. And if I really just want to build into things like weapons and grenades or weapons and melee or weapons and super or something like that, then I have like 2 options, really, or maybe 3. And I think that is a mistake. I personally probably would have launched with 12 or 18 archetypes to give even more combinations. I'm not sure if this is Bungie's way of like soft testing the system or just like trying not to overwhelm players initially or whatever. And we don't know how often they're going to add more archetypes. Are we going to get 6 more with Renegades, for instance? That would be better, in my opinion. But I just think like completely gutting the armor system, changing it, and then being like, okay, you have 6 options to build everything from is incredibly limiting, and it's something I'm not a huge fan of and I'm very skeptical of. So that definitely has me worried. 3, solo ops. They've spent a lot of time hyping up solo ops, and for some people these might be like your activity. For me, they were boring. They were very boring. Some of them literally had 10 enemies and you were just like, they're essentially like, the way I think about them is like lost.
So I just want to point out, I thought solo ops, when they first announced solo ops, I mean, this was months ago. When they first announced it, I thought it was just like a strike, but you were like solo. But apparently, I guess I'm wrong. I don't know.
Lost sectors, but instead of in a lost sector, they are like in a patrol space. And it's just longer, so you're just like running, but there's like a boss at the end. There might be like one small mechanic you have to do, like shoot the darkness splinters or whatever, defend this thing, just like a lost sector, but just not fun. And that's a big shame, because I think there are other examples of really good solo opportunities. So for instance, Destiny Rising, the 9 game mode, where that it's a...
I'm a Destiny Rising addict. This is it. As most of y'all know, I love Destiny Rising.
Short solo roguelite, and you're just like, you pick buffs and you're running through. I know that's
so much fun.
a lot of work, but it's like infinitely more interesting than kill 10 enemies and run half a mile.
It's so much better.
So I think solo ops need a lot of work, and I'm a little worried about that because this kind of goes into the fourth point I want to talk about. Seasonal activities, destination stuff, activities. We haven't really seen a lot of that. It's my understanding that the destination doesn't have lost sectors. And the reason it doesn't have lost sectors is because that work went into solo ops. And so what else got sacrificed for that? Like, does this DLC have a strike?
Wait, he said there's not going to be lost sectors because it's
activities. We haven't really seen a lot of that. It's my understanding that the destination doesn't have lost sectors. And the reason it doesn't have lost sectors is because that work went into solo ops.
That is so stupid. That is going to be the first destination we ever received without lost sectors. Like, hello?
And so what else got sacrificed for that? Like, does this DLC have a strike? They haven't mentioned it. If it does the destination just kept...
I mean, I don't run lost sectors, period, but still, the fact that one of the things that Destiny launched with when they announced Destiny 2 was that these worlds that you explore are going to have these little sub areas called lost sectors that you could go do and get some loot out of them. And so the fact that they are now breaking that it's a little shocking for this thing called solo ops. So, I mean, I don't really run lost sectors, so I don't really care, but still, it's just a little shocking.
Kepler have a destination activity. Overflow, is that what it's called? Overflow, the one in the Pale Heart was sick. It was awesome. That was probably the best destination activity we've ever had. Very fun. Put a lot of time into it, kept people engaged for a long time. Is there anything like that on Kepler? Because I haven't seen anything to suggest there's anything like that on Kepler. And so, like, where's the replayability? The portal's sick. And the fact that they're bringing in old activities like Wrathborn Hunts, like Savathûn Spire, that's really cool. But
So since they're bringing those activities back, are they bringing those back with red borders for those? Or no? Because if not, I'm not playing it.
The new season, I'm getting excited about grinding only old stuff. I think that's a problem. There should also be new stuff in there that's not like so.
Again, everything is going to fall on the back of this new take on exploring Kepler. And I think that is an incredible burden for a formula we know some things about, but it's also one of the things, like, I've already seen some of your comments like, dude, what? I'm going to be playing with Deep Sight 2.0. I don't give a shit about these abilities. I got to do puzzles now. I just want to slay. You know where I'm coming from? It's risky, man. It really is risky. The other side of things is like, where's the sex appeal? That's the other thing. And I'm not talking about Gooner bait out here. I'm talking about where is the expansion's sex appeal? You know, it's things that are sexy. New subclass. That's an easy one. That's a
Now, there's been a lot of talk in the community about subclass. Like, they want a red subclass or just new subclass, whatever. I'm going to be honest, I could care less for a new subclass. You know what I really do want? I want another Strand super. I want another Stasis super. I want another melee ability for those classes. I want more grenades. The fact that you have all these different grenades across the three light subclasses, and we only have, the three regular ones? I want to see those get expanded and built upon, rather than just another subclass that you're only going to have one super, 3 set grenades, 1 melee for each class. That's what I would like to see. Let's make that happen.
The freebie, you know what I mean? Hey, why should I buy this expansion? You want the green shit? Huh? You want the blue shit? You want the rainbow shit? Buy it. Easy. An easy sell, right? Sex appeal, maximum 10, 11, right? Other things that falls in line with that sex appeal. A new rarity. When we thought we were going to get Black Armory, and people were like, brother, there's going to be a new rarity. It's going to be a black rarity now. When you look at your weapon, it's going to be blacked out, all this stuff. Dude, sexy. Get easy. That's hot. There are things that are...
I want to touch on that too, because I'm coming from Destiny Rising. I think we could do a mythic tier. Do a mythic tier. Let's add something like that in here.
Just easy sells. The problem is turning into a ball and going into a pipe and charging a pylon. Is that sexy enough? I hope it is. It may be. To some people, you may be bricked right now. I don't know. Maybe I kind of, you know what I mean? Like semi, there's some appeal to it. I get the, you know what I mean? But it's kind of a hard sell. You know what I mean?
So I hope Kepler has a cool activity that's maybe part of that. I hope there's a strike. That'd be kind of a shame if there wasn't. We also don't know what the season's bringing. So we know, like, for instance, Fire and Ash is coming 3 months after the launch of Edge of Fate. That'll have its own stuff. But does, like, the first third of the season have its own stuff? Like, there's just a lot of information here that we don't have. And that worries me because we are 6 weeks out. And all of the, you know, all of their messaging is, oh, the grind is back. You're going to be playing a lot. We want the hobby game to be here. But all we have to show for that are like returning old activities, the most boring solo op like activities I could think of, and then like short events, which the short events are really cool, like Arms Week and Heavy Metal. I'm a big fan personally, but where's the new grindy activities? I want to see more of those. So very curious and a little worried about that since they've been so radio silent, but I'm interested to see what they reveal, or if there is anything to reveal, I guess. And then the final one, and I am genuinely so worried about this, and this is not meant to be me like calling out anyone, but so much of the refocusing with the tier 5 weapons and the tier...
Yo, Hawk, what it do? I'm just finishing my food real quick and finishing this, and I'm ready. What it do, brother? Hope your day's going well.
5 armor and the shiny grind and all of this stuff is focused on in the new light leveling system. It's all, hey, we're bringing the grind back to Destiny. But I'm genuinely worried that a large part of the Destiny community doesn't like to grind.
That's what I like to hear, Hawk. This right here, I like what he just said. I love Destiny Rising because there's so much to grind for. I feel like I'm so behind, but yet I've been 2 weeks like hard on the game and I'm already doing trio raids and stuff, but I still feel like I'm behind. There is no grind to this game, period. We need that grind back. I like what he just said.
Anymore. And I think this is
what you got cooking too, Hawk? I made some I had some McDonald's that I'm eating right now. What you making?
A consequence of, you know, a number of years of, you know, simplification and casualification of Destiny, really starting around Beyond Light or Witch Queen with crafted weapons and requiring you to play game modes less and less and less to get the best things in the game.
What Scaro's trying to say is all you motherfuckers have turned into casual bitches over the years and you don't have it in you to get the grind on anymore. Of course he's saying it in a much...
But he's right. All these people complain about, like, they all complain. Like, when you get an exotic in Destiny Rising, you actually freaking feel excited, but then you turn D2 on, you got freaking 9 of them just sitting in your freaking Postmaster. Like, there's no excitement to this game. There's no grind to it, man.
More diplomatic way.
And making generally activities like Grandmaster Nightfalls easier and easier and easier and easier, and stopping people from really pushing themselves. And I like, that's fine. If that's how you like to play the game, that's totally fine. But so much of what they are doing is, hey, you're going to have to be playing like a lot more of this. You're going to be getting rewarded, but if you want the best rewards, you have to play a ton and you have to grind a ton and you're going to have to do hard content. And while that excites someone like me, who's been doing this the entire time and has been very anti things like crafting this entire time, I'm not sure how the general population...
I don't know. Crafting feels like it was a hit or miss, man. They brought crafting into the game in Witch Queen, and with the statement that, you know, you could make and build whatever god rolls you wanted and all these other weapons. Now it's being treated as, oh, it's for whatever weapons you missed during the seasonal content, which we don't even have seasons no more. We only have episodes, so I guess we're going back to seasons now. So it feels dull. That whole system just feels dull.
Of Destiny is going to respond to that, and that does worry me. I'm also...
How you guys gonna respond to that? If Destiny's selling like, hey, bitch, 40 hours. I want it every week. You got to put it up if you want the best of the best. W, hell yeah. Not gonna happen. The casuals. I'm leaving. Lick my ass. Well, you know, this is great. I honestly feel like this is the best. I mean, I love the variety of opinions here. And that's the way it should be. My thing is this. If you're going to require me to grind, all right, I'll grind. But dude, is that enhanced origin trait really going to be worth it? You know what I'm saying? Is that thing really going to be fucking worth it? I hope. Like if that, what I'm saying, like if a tier 3 drop to tier 5, it's not significant enough there in difference. Okay, just give me the tier 3, I suppose. You know what I mean? For PvP though, yeah. Have you seen the PvP player population right now? We're not exactly thriving. Okay, I'm just. And that's the other thing too. Inside of PvE, you know, if it's just small stat bumps, the +2s and +3s, no one really cares about that in PvE. Like, I mean, really, I'm gonna be honest. Like, really, that shit doesn't matter inside of PvE. The only time stat bumps really matters inside of PvP, where you're like, dude, maybe if I had more range or more stability, I would have had, I wouldn't have received damage.
I don't play PvP, so I can't relate to none of this, so I have no comment for this part of the video.
Fall off, and I would have gotten that 3-tap or something, right? Inside of PvP, those little minuscule amounts of stat bumps can make a difference. But inside of PvE, you care about your perks, you care about the duration of your perks, and you care about perk synergies, and that's about it. The only other thing I can think of is like in the case of like enhanced origin traits, that is interesting. Like if that makes a big difference, okay. I mean, like, yeah.
Also not a huge fan of light leveling in general. Like I like the idea of, oh, you have to push yourself harder and harder content. I am quite worried about, we'll call this a
light level. This is something I wanted to touch on. Screw the light level, dude. Get rid of it, man. Get rid of the light level and just go down to like difficulties. Grandmaster, Master, the ultimate mode, whatever it is, whatever it is that they're adding. Add that to the game and forget light level. Why are we like, hello? I know it's getting rebased or whatever in the Edge of Fate, so everyone starts out at like what, 100, 200, something like that or whatever, 10, whatever the number was. But like, hello? Why is that still a thing? Get rid of it. It's just a number that keeps going up and up and up with no future. Like,
bonus 6 thing I'm worried about. I'm quite worried about like enhancement cores or infusion material getting annoying, because right now, like every time I have to go to the tower to get enhancement cores, I like immediately just lose interest in whatever I'm doing. It is the worst part of the game. I hate light leveling, and now that they're making it essentially the seasonal model, I'm quite worried about that. So we'll just have to see what that looks like. But there's nothing wrong if you like.
But you got to remove the glimmer cap too. Like if materials are going to be such a big part of our day-to-day grind, you got to increase that glimmer cap. Do we have a confirmation on that?
they do. I feel like 500k is still not enough. I feel like 500k is still not enough, especially with how they have things priced. There's some things that cost almost 50 to 25,000 just for upgrades or purchasing things for Glimmer. Glimmer definitely needs to be, it's got to be uncapped. If it's not uncapped, well, I don't know. I feel like it needs to be uncapped. I feel like it needs to be uncapped because I feel like what Warframe, they don't have caps on their credits, I don't think. Or if they do, it's a really high, like a really high number that it really doesn't matter. They need to do something similar because things are expensive in Destiny 2 ever since they removed the legendary shards that everyone, was farming up. So there's not a cap in Warframe. Yeah, that's just they definitely need to they got to reevaluate that, because like you go to the tower right now or you try to upgrade something or buy something or whatever, there's literally things that cost 25,000 Glimmer to do, even 50,000. Even when you go make a weapon from the crafting thing on Mars, that's so expensive in Glimmer. I think that's another 25 right there. So they gotta definitely reevaluate how they're doing Glimmer, because it's quite literally stupid.
On the Glimmer cap, removing the Glimmer cap would break the economy. They only should raise it. What fucking economy you're talking about, Gut Punch? It's not like we have a damn black market or we trade. What economy what are you speaking? This is not an economy. We don't have an economy.
Okay.
There's no fucking economy in Destiny.
Okay.
I wish I could actually buy something of real fucking value. All Glimmer caps do, all it does is extend my frustration. That's all it does.
Let them
it
know.
Extends my frustration and makes me grind bullshit.
Let them know,
I think
Cross.
crafting has a big part in the game as like a catch-up mechanic, or like invigorating old content, like when they do it for old raids. I think that's cool. I just think like crafting in new, especially hard content like raids, is always a mistake, and I don't think they should do that. And I'm worried that sort of behavior has altered a lot of the composition of the Destiny community, the mindsets of the Destiny community, and the willingness of people in this community to spend a lot of time grinding for things and pushing themselves to do.
If they don't increase the cap for Glimmer, lower the cost of everything else. Do it like how Destiny, and I hate to make these comparisons, but do it like how Destiny Rising does it. You can go right now and upgrade a weapon from enhancement 0 to 1 and maybe only spend 7,000 Glimmer. Maybe, right? Or you could go buy something for, you can go buy something from the shop or whatever and enhance that, and it only costs maybe 300 Glimmer. So if they don't increase the cap for whatever reason known to man, lower the cost of everything else while keeping it at 500,000. I think that'll help balance it in a particular way. I don't know if that would be like a permanent fix, but I think it would help balance it maybe. I don't know.
Do harder content. Very worried about that. We'll have to see how that turns out. But yeah, those are 5-6-ish things, I guess, that I'm worried about. Hopefully in the next couple of days, I'll have something going over all the things I'm excited about, because I think there are genuinely a lot of great changes coming to the Edge of Fate that I'm very excited about. Let me know what you're most worried about down below, and I hope you have a good day. See you.
Good video, Skiro. Good video, man. Look, here's the thing. I just wish the crafting system could have been expanded upon rather than just thrown out. And
I wish that too, man. I wish that too. I wish that we could build armor. I wish we can build some of their newer weapons. Like, I wish there was a lot we could do with this, but now they're treating it like it's just some type of catch-up tool, and it's sad to see, because that was the pinnacle for Witch Queen for me.
I know a lot of people are going to say, but crafting ruined Destiny. Okay, but it was in the game. It was brought to us. It was put in the game. It was a big focus of Witch Queen. It's fucking here, or it was here, right? It was here. And I love the idea of having Val orbs. I just want corruption orbs, and the idea of corrupting my pieces of gear would have added another level of RNG that could have intertwined with crafting inside of Destiny. And I feel like there's a system that could have incorporated both. You would have still, if whoever that wanted higher player retention, you get that with the RNG in Val orbs. There's something on that level for crafting. I would have liked that. These are all like, I mean, no lights. Skills did a really good job in this video. These are all things to be concerned about. At this other side of things is, I'm kind of like at that point where I'm just like, there's nothing that can be, there's really nothing that can be done right now. We're going in this bitch here in the next month. Ain't nothing gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, there may be some small tweaks, but as far as like Kepler, what it is, the activities, the destination, how we're exploring, the Metrovania style, the abilities that are tied to that, the portal. About the only thing that might change is maybe like the directory and actually being able to add Kepler to the directory. But like, for the most part, what you've seen is what we getting. And there's really nothing else we're going to do. And at this point, it's like, I'm just going to play it. It's either going to be great. And it's like, oh, wow. And that's the other side of things too. It's like when you're sitting in front of developers of any game and they have a creative vision for something, you could just be like, bro, that sounds like ass. You know what I mean? But you're also not seeing it in its full scope yet either. You're seeing bits and pieces. And so you give feedback on those bits and pieces, but it's like, at some point you're almost like, all right, man, you obviously are passionate about this. Cook. If you're right, you're right. And I came into Final Shape pretty skeptical until we saw Prismatic. And I was like, oh, that's fucking dope. But I did go in, initially last year, January through March, April, I was very skeptical. I thought Final Shape was going to flop. And I really thought that. I was like, man.
Final Shape was good. I actually enjoyed it. It was really, really good. I don't think there's nothing they could have done different.
Because, I mean, just the layoffs and the delays and everything else. But then they cooked. You know what I mean? And so this is their thing. They obviously have a vision for this. And maybe, just maybe, the way we explore Kepler ends up being something that's like, wow, Bungie's really onto something here. This is great. All right. I will say these are some big worries, but we'll be tuning in for the things that are most exciting. I think the big thing, again, the thing that as a build crafter, like I am excited. And I'm also willing to see like, okay, what is this vision for Destiny going forward? But we'll see, man. We'll see. Slap that like button like your mama.
What a great video by Cross. You guys go check him out. Dude's amazing. Yeah, I guess we'll see when Edge of Fate drops. How good it could possibly be. I have a lot of concerns, and I don't think I'll be impressed. And I've told everyone in my Twitch chat that Edge of Fate is lucky they got my pre-order, because Rising isn't scheduled to come out till end of August, allegedly. So for now, I've got Destiny Rising till the end of June here, and then Edge of Fate drops July. That gets me through into August. So we'll see. We'll see how they do it. Maybe they make some crazy return and I end up liking it. So we'll see. But anyway, YouTube, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Like and subscribe. Peace.